and we are on the Mel Robbins podcast.
So, Elton, how old are you?
10 years old.
What have you learned recently that you wish everyone would know?
If you have an up and then you have a down, you know that you can do ups. Because, if you've done it before, you can do it again.
What do you think people should do in order to be happier?
Actively go to therapy. Maybe that therapist is like your mom. Maybe that therapist is like your aunt. Maybe it's your uncle. Maybe it's like your grandpa. But you have to usually talk to somebody about your feelings to make you feel better. I was getting a little picked on and bullied, and I just decided to go to therapy. And it really helped in my mental state and really helped me be a better person.
Wow. You think adults sometimes forget the important things in life?
Oh, totally. Just because you have kids and just because you need to take care of them all the time doesn't mean you can't have fun yourself. You've done so much for them. They gotta do something for you, or you gotta do something for yourself. You gotta have more fun. As an adult, having fun is part of life.
What's the big mistake that you see parents make with kids that then kids complain to their friends about? Welcome. It's your friend Mel. I'm so happy you're here. Whether you've been listening for a while or someone that you love sent you this episode and you're brand new to the Mel Robbins podcast family, welcome. You are going to absolutely love listening to this episode today. And I'm particularly excited because I know so many of you listen to the Mel Robbins podcast while you've got your families around or you're driving in the car with kids. And this episode in particular is absolutely perfect for you to listen to with the kids in your life, whether they're in elementary school or middle school. And I cannot wait for you to meet our guest today. His name is Elton. He is one of my most favorite people on the planet. And the reason why I love him is because he just has this simple wisdom. You ask him his perspective about any situation or anything going on in the world, and it's like, boom, that was exactly what I needed to hear. And as I mentioned, this conversation has been over a year in the making because first, Elton had to finish the 4th grade. And second, I had to get him out here. And so he came out to visit his grandparents and I was like, Elton, let's make this a twofer. And so here he is. I have known Elton his entire life. I've been wanting him to be on the podcast. I cannot wait for you to hear the simple wisdom and the fact that he has all these little sayings that are actually tools, and you're going to want to steal them. The way he describes things in particular that kids struggle with, it's going to help your kids, and it will definitely help you. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask Elton a few questions. And as I ask Elton questions, I invite you and the people that you love who are listening along with you to answer these questions for yourself too. Because I guarantee you, what pops into your mind is going to surprise you. So without further ado, please help me welcome Elton to the Mel Robbins podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. I always wanted to be on a podcast.
Okay, great. So how old are you?
10 years old.
And what grade are you going into?
5th.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, Elton, is because you are one of my all-time favorite human beings.
Thank you. You're one of my at least top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5. You're on my Mount Rushmore.
I've never thought of it that way. That if you have a top 5, there's a Mount Rushmore of people.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, my mom and my dad, and then there's my friends, and then there's people like you who are just generally nice people.
So what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Before we kind of jump into the way you think about life in middle school and some of the things going on that you wish adults would know, I would just love for everybody to get to know a little bit more about you. What do you like to do?
So I like to play some sports, but I'm also a video gamer. So I play some Pokemon, I play some Super Mario, I play some baseball, some soccer, and then in real life I also play some baseball, some soccer, some football, and it's just really fun, at least what I think I'm doing, because I'm a people person.
Do you think you were born that way? Just always been
Yeah.
that way?
Because I've always been like very interactive, like even since I was like 5, I was like going up to strangers saying like I like your shoes.
Do you think it's important to compliment other people and be nice to other people?
Yeah, because like it's kind of like karma. Because like
It's kind of like what?
karma.
Oh,
Like if you don't share with someone, then they're not gonna share with you, or they're not gonna be kind with you. Because like if I like start like picking on a kid, and they're not gonna want to be friends with me because I'm picking on them. Like if I was kind to that kid, then maybe they would want to be friends with me. But if I'm not, then they won't.
that's true. So kind of what energy you put out there comes back to you,
Yeah, usually.
usually.
Yeah. Well, because at least all I know, we only get like one chance, and you gotta make it good. Because like, if you just decide to be a jerk all your life, then like, what have you really accomplished? Because like, you're not being kind to people. You're not gonna have many friends at least, and like, we know how friends helps your mental state.
Yep.
Like, we know that, and so then you're gonna be depressed, and like that just doesn't feel good, does it? So like if someone doesn't be a jerk and they're super kind and they're gonna have lots of friends, they're gonna be invited to a bunch of stuff. Rather, if you're a jerk, nobody wants to be friends with you. You're not gonna get invited to stuff because you're just gonna be like a party pooper, and like, yeah, like you're not gonna live life that the way you probably want to.
Got it. And what do you think is the most important thing in life?
Kind.
Being kind?
Kindness. Yeah, because like that determines it all usually. Because like if you're not kind, then people won't want to be friends, and then that leads into a whole different story, and then you argue a lot, and then you're mad at people, and then you get mad at yourself, and then that leads to sadness, and like that's just not very fun. So,
You're a real deep thinker.
yeah,
What makes you truly happy, Elton?
friends.
Friends.
My friends. Yeah, like they are the nicest people I've ever met. And like they are just super kind, super supportive. Like they're into what I'm into, and like they were just so nice.
How do you handle the days where you're feeling sad or a little lonely?
How do I try to interact with not kids, adults. Like I try to like hang out with some adults. It's kind of like a safe place too.
I think that's a great idea. Do you tell people when you're sad and lonely?
I tell my mom and my dad, not like just random strangers, or like I don't tell like my uncle or someone. I tell my mom and my dad. Those are like my safe keeps.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you think an adult should do if they feel sad or lonely?
Honestly, I would hang out with like younger kids because they don't know much, and so like even like shaking like this cup would like make them laugh.
Gotcha.
That laugh brings you joy because laughs are like contagious.
It's true.
Like happiness is contagious. If 2 people start laughing, then 4 people start laughing, then everybody starts laughing, even if you don't know what the joke is.
That's true. So maybe watch a funny movie or hang out with kids or volunteer or something like
Yeah.
that. What do you think people should do in order to be happier?
Well, I did this, and I do this. I go to therapy. Like I actively go to therapy, and like that helps a lot with my mental state, and it helps a lot with being happier. And then one more thing to be happy is I do this, but not a lot. Spend less time on your phone and scrolling. Because what is that going to do for you? You're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling when you could have time outside, making new friends, playing, talking.
Tell me, are you comfortable sharing a little bit about like what you get out of therapy or why you went?
I just didn't feel happy because like I didn't have many friends and like I was like getting a little picked on and like bullied and like so I just decided to go to therapy, and it really helped in my mental state and really helped me be a better person. I still go because I know it helps me be a better person.
Wow. I mean, I go to therapy. I love talking to my therapist. It's one of the reasons why I'm a better mom and I'm a better friend and I like myself more because I have somebody that I can talk to
about like everything almost.
Yeah.
Like they're your safe person, like that you can just like let it all dump out.
Yeah. And sometimes I think it's easier for me. I don't know how you feel, but I think it's easier for me to just dump it all out with somebody that I'm not related to, you know, or that's not a friend.
Yeah. They don't know your friends, and therapists are really trustworthy.
Yeah.
Therapists are kind of like if you give somebody like a very dirty shirt, and after like 2 weeks, which in therapy is like a year or something, that shirt is going to be so clean.
You're the best. You're the best. It's true. Because if you keep it all inside,
if you keep bottling it up, then you're going to have so many bottles and you're just going to feel so sad because like you have all of this still in you.
Yeah.
Rather just taking some of it out. And like I know you might still want to bottle things up, and like you can bottle some stuff up, just not too much.
Yeah.
Like I have bottled things up and that hasn't hurt me, but when I bottled too much stuff up, that hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel more empowered?
I do. And like bottling stuff up, and this is a terrible comparison, but it's like eating grapes.
What do you mean it's like eating grapes?
You know how if you have too many grapes, your stomach hurts?
Yes.
So like if I'm going to have 6 grapes, that's okay. But if I'm going to have 20 grapes, like my stomach's going to hurt.
Wow. I think talking to somebody is an incredible way to figure out how to be happy again.
Yeah.
And how to get support from somebody that you don't feel like, oh boy, if I tell them this, they're going to be mad at me or they're going to be, they're going to get upset, to know that I'm upset. So how do you think people should think about like going to talk to a therapist or going, because I think, like when somebody's like, you should probably go to see a therapist, you're kind of like, what am I, like a big loser?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that's offensive. Like, because like, it's like, are you saying something's wrong with me? Like maybe you say like, hey, everything feeling all right? And then they say no. And then you say, oh, maybe you should go to like therapy. Maybe I might go or something. So then you kind of like pin the blame on yourself while also pinning it on them.
Great.
So it doesn't feel like, oh, you need to go to therapy. It's like, instead of like,
how about this? What if you said, do you think it would help
if you went to therapy?
if you talked to somebody
Yeah.
about how you're feeling?
And then they say, what, like a therapist? And then you say like, yeah, sure, whatever you think it'll help. And so maybe that therapist is like your mom. Maybe that therapist is like your aunt. Maybe it's your uncle. Maybe it's like your grandpa. But like, you have to usually talk to somebody about your feelings to make you feel better.
Absolutely. You cannot sit with the feelings and talk to yourself.
Because what's that going to do? You're not going to let them go and then they come back to you. You got to let them go to somebody, and then they fix it and they give it back to you.
Correct. It's like that shirt analogy.
Exactly.
And the other thing is that since the person that you're talking to has worked with and seen and talked to so many people that have felt exactly how you felt, they actually know you can get better.
Yeah, because they have experience doing this. Like
When you were sad, and I realize that your mom's a therapist, but
Yeah.
when they were like, "Do you want to go to therapy?" Were you like, "What?" Or were you like,
I said like, sure, like why not? And like I didn't want to go the first couple of days because I thought it was like boring, and like because all we had to do was talk about our feelings. But then I actually feel better because what we do is, at least in my therapy office, we we have this one game that we play. We play Guess Who while talking about our feelings.
"Really?
Yeah.
How's it work?"
So we like we play some regular Guess Who. We play like, does this person have orange hair? Is this person a male? Like, but in between the turns, we talk about like, so how's blank been, or how's
school been?
Yeah. So like you kind of shove it in there with the games.
Sneaky. I like it.
Yeah.
That's good. And then so as you're like chatting about something else, you all of a sudden find yourself just chatting about how you feel about school too.
Exactly.
Super smart strategy. Is there anything else that you've learned talking to somebody who's a therapist about yourself, or?
Well, I didn't talk to a therapist about this, but last year I was diagnosed with dysgraphia.
Oh yeah,
And I believe,
Oakley has
yeah,
it.
that's what I was gonna say. Oakley has that.
It's a language based learning.
So like
difference.
I have to like, I can't really write as well.
Me either.
So like I get to type and like voice type, and it just really helped me because at the beginning of the year in 4th grade, I was like skipping class, not because I was a bad kid, because I couldn't learn, not because I didn't want to, because I couldn't. Like I physically couldn't learn. So like my teachers just thought I was like a bad kid. And so like they misjudged me, is what my mom said. But then at the end of the year, I got diagnosed, and they were like, "Oh, so that's what's wrong with that kid."
Well, it's not even what's wrong.
It's what's like the difference.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge difference between I can't learn and I don't want to learn.
True.
Because if you can't learn, then like yes, you want to learn, but you like can't. There is no like, oh, I'm just not gonna listen. I'm trying to listen, but like I can't.
You know what I love about what you just said? I've never heard anybody say it that way, but you're right. I can't learn based on how you're trying to teach me.
Yeah.
But if you change the method of the teaching, it's easy to learn.
Yes.
And do you know that Oakley
went to a dysgraphic and dyslexia school, right?
Yep. And he was diagnosed in the 4th grade, just like you.
That's awesome.
And did you know that I also am dyslexic?
No.
Yes. And I did not find out, Elton, until I was 46 years old. Imagine going through life
Was it like really hard?
You know what was really hard is I couldn't understand why things were so hard.
In like K through 3rd, everything was like easy enough that it was hard, but I got through it.
Yes.
And then in 4th grade, it was like everything was so hard for everybody. And so that was just like, instead of a slap, that was like a punch.
Yes.
And like I couldn't like recover. And then at the end of the year, I finally realized, oh, that's why this has been so hard for my life, because I have this.
Yes. And you know, I think about it now, and I was able to get through high school just fine. And then I went to a very competitive college.
Which one?
Dartmouth. And and I got there, and it was like, oh God,
I can't do this.
I can't do this. And I would skip classes. I would just make it worse. I would pull these all-nighters. I would leave things to the last minute because I was avoiding it. And then you start to feel like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. If there's something you hate, like you want to do it earlier so you don't have that in your mind, but really what your brain wants you to do is stay away from it as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets stronger and stronger. And like, if you just deal with it right then and there, then it might take you a while and it might be really hard, but at least you did it.
That's
Like,
true.
If I have a homework assignment due on Monday and today is Friday, let's say, I would want to do it like maybe tomorrow, not right now, but not on Monday.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
If you could give one piece of advice to adults, what would it be?
For a lot of my life, my parents have been super, super nice, but there's some moments where I wish they did push me more because I know I could do it. So like encouraging your children is like a huge part, but you really have to hit them with like the double whammy. Let's say they have a learning difference and it's like, yes, you can do whatever you want and yes, you are awesome, but some people will like pick on you because of this.
Got it. So the double whammy in your mind is always hold out the bigger vision. Like you can do this.
So like, let's say a daughter, like you can do everything that like your brother can do, let's say.
Yep.
But people will talk to you a different way than they do to your brother. Like that is just part of like life, and do not let that bring you down.
If somebody constantly beats themselves up, like they're hard on themselves, were you ever like that with yourself?
Yeah, I was.
What did you used to say to yourself?
I'm not good enough. Like I need to try harder, even though this is the best I can do. Like I need to be better. I need to be more in shape. I need to like sure, yes you do, but you don't need to do that all at once. Maybe you can focus on getting the ball farther now and get in shape later. Like because if you do it all at once, you're not going to be able to get any of it done. Because you got so much like my brother is watching, this is a terrible comparison. My brother is watching like 6 animes at once.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to finish a single one because he is watching like 6. So if you have 6 animes and you're watching all of them at once, you're not going to be able to finish them.
True. What one's most important to you of the things that you're working on and that you want to change?
Honestly, I have lied a lot in the past.
Oh, me too.
Like because I thought it made me cooler. It didn't. It didn't at all. So I'm trying to tell people the truth more and stuff. And like I'm trying to correct what I have done wrong in the past.
I think that is so brave and really inspiring.
Thank you.
What advice would you give, let's say, to Kendall, who's launching her singer-songwriter career, and she'll put out a song and it does really well, and then she puts out a song and it doesn't do as well, and then she puts out another song and it does really well, and it's the ups and downs. Like, what would you say?
If you have an up and then you have a down, you know that you can do ups. Because, like, if you've done it before, you can do it again. Like, that's what I say to myself, Elf. Like, if I have thrown a MacBook 60 yards and I keep practicing,
Yes.
I might get farther, but I will not go lower.
Gotcha. So you can do it again.
You can do it again.
Got it. I love that. What have you learned recently that you wish everyone would know?
Life isn't fair. I mean, because if life was fair, everybody would have the same birthday. Everybody would be the same age, would die at the same time. Everything would be the same.
That's right.
And that isn't fun, is it? Because, like, then if you walk up to a person and you say, what do you like? I mean, sure, they'll like all the same things as you, but you need differences to be friends. Because then, like, you need to draw in something new.
So how do you deal with those moments? Because it's right, life isn't fair. And it's kind of a waste of your time or
Yeah.
anybody's time to spend any energy getting upset about how unfair life is.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with those moments though, when your brother gets something and you don't, or when someone else seems to have it easier and you struggle with dysgraphia, or somebody has more money than you do, or they're better at baseball than you are? How do you deal with those things that are like unfair?
It's part of life. And like, you can't do, I mean, yes, you can practice baseball, but I can't unpractice like dysgraphia. So I have to like kind of just deal with it and like practice and practice and practice. And like, yes, that will be harder for me. And like I have to try almost because like that's part of my like lifestyle. I try my hardest and sometimes I'm not good enough and like that is fine. And like maybe if I keep trying I will be better, and then if I keep trying and I'm not good enough, then that's just kind of like, oh well, I can't do this. I cannot make a 3-point to save my life. Like that is just not me. So like,
Do you think if you kept practicing, eventually you'd be able to do it?
yes. I've never wanted to be a 3-point shooter. Like people are like, "Oh, I want to be like Steph Curry." Oh, like I'm not aiming for the high, like the really high. I'm aiming for what's good enough. Because if people was gonna like go for the really high road, like yes, you probably can do it. Yes, it will be a lot harder. But if that's a lot harder, you're more likely to give up.
Oh,
Because like if you keep doing it and it's so hard, then you're just gonna eventually like decide to just give up.
yes. If I am listening and hearing you correctly, if what you want to do is be Steph Curry and you want to just drop the 3-pointers all day long and you want to spend 10,000 hours working on the 3-point
Yeah.
shot and you want to be the best in the world, if you never stop, eventually
You will do it.
you will do it. But for most of us, if we aim too high, we quit too soon.
Exactly.
And so your philosophy is to shoot for good enough and you said my lifestyle is to try. What does that mean?
Like I I try never to not try. Like I always try to try.
Why is trying?
Because some people are like, if they really don't want to do something, they don't try. But even if I don't want to do something, I still try to do it and see, oh, I'm actually good at this. And then maybe if I'm good at it, I'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I really suck at basketball,
Yep.
I wouldn't like it because I'm terrible at it.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing that most adults don't realize about video games. That a lot of kids and people play them,
Yeah.
you, Oakley, because you're good at them.
Yeah.
And we naturally like doing the things that we're good at.
Yeah, there's usually a job for almost everything. Like there's a job for video games. There is a job for coding. There's a job for this. There's a job for making these cups. There's a job for ironing. There is a job for almost everything. So like if you're really good at something, I would try at least try, like if you want to do it, to pursue that. And if that doesn't work out, try to almost, like, if you're not the best at this thing, but you can do it, take a thing that you're like lesser good at, and then keep doing that cycle. And like finally, you get to something you're terrible at. Keep trying and trying, and now you have the momentum to say, "I can do this."
You know what, Elton? You just described my career. I literally started my career as a lawyer. That's what I used to do. And then I changed because I didn't like that. And I went and I worked in the startup business. And then I didn't like that. And I went and did something else. And then I didn't like that. And I went and did something else. And like 19 job changes later, I combined them all. And now I host this podcast. And, funny thing about dyslexia, I don't write my books, I dictate them. And then I edit on paper. I can't like write or type out my thoughts. I have to like speak them. This show is in 194 countries. And there's so many. I know. That's a lot.
That's a lot of countries.
And there's so many people that listen to this show and then send episodes to people that they love.
Yeah.
First, I want you to talk to the adults. And what do you want them to know if they think that there is a kid in their life, whether it's a child or a niece or a nephew or somebody that's in their class that just seems really sad or seems like they're not themselves? What do you want adults to know, and what do you think adults should do if they're worried about someone? Because you've been in a situation where you were sad.
And I have a really good answer to that, I think. So what didn't help me was talking to like a teacher saying, "Are you sad?" Like, you don't want to admit that in front of the entire class, because like, how does that feel? Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, so like maybe like you like help them out, and then you see them like crack a smile, and if you keep doing that, then they're smiling again.
Okay.
But if that doesn't work, then like you kind of like take them out of class for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Then you say, not "Are you sad? Is everything all right?"
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
You don't seem like yourself.
Yeah. Because like if you know them as a like very happy kid,
Yeah.
and they're just feeling really sad,
Mm-hmm.
you know something's wrong. So you don't say, "Are you sad?" because you know they're sad. You know this. And you ask, "Is everything all right?" Because you know something isn't right.
Yes. Do you think adults sometimes forget the important things in life?
Oh, totally. Like, just because you have kids and just because like you need to take care of them all the time doesn't mean you can't have fun yourself. Because like I see all these parents like spending all their time with their kids, and like try maybe getting your kids, because that you've done so much for them, they got to do something for you, or you got to do something for yourself, because otherwise you're just going to be like there with your kids not happy, and then that's going to make them not happy, and like
So you need to have more fun.
you got to have more fun like as an adult, because like I know you may think that's like a teenager or a kiddie thing. No, it isn't. Having fun is part of life. Anything that you think is fun will help you.
What's the big mistake that you see parents make with kids that then kids complain to their friends about?
My mom's always trying to control me. My dad's always trying to control me, because like they try to set you up for a path with success, and like yes, that is nice, but you should let them choose what their path to success is. You don't have to say, "Oh, you're gonna play basketball. Oh, you're gonna be a mathematician." Like, they can choose. Like, what if they want to be a dentist? Like, that is not basketball. That is not math. That is dentist. Like, let them choose what they want to do, and then you can help them.
I agree. Because I believe the best form of success is being happy in your life.
Exactly. Like, because you like, who doesn't want to be happy if you think about it? Like, you don't want to be sad. Like, especially at my camp, they don't say treat others how you want to be treated. Treat others how they want to be treated. If you love to be tickled, like you
I don't like to be tickled.
Exactly.
Do you like to be tickled?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Like, if my mom loves to be tickled, like she wouldn't tickle me, because treat others how they want to be treated.
I love that. That's true, because we assume how we want to be treated is how
they want to be treated. But at my camp, they say like, no, that's bogus.
You also were talking last night at dinner with your mom about the pizza strategy. What is this? The pizza? What's it called?
The pizza strategy.
What is that?
So if, let's say I'm in a group chat and somebody starts talking about like Ashley. So like they're talking about Ashley, they're saying mean things about Ashley. So the pizza strategy is like it's like training a baby. Like if they're like looking at something they shouldn't, you literally just go like, "Hey, look at that light," or like, "Look at that," like but in this case, where are we going for pizza tomorrow? Or like, and then they start talking about pizza. They forget about Ashley, start talking about pizza.
Got it.
And like, you can do that with anything. So like,
So the pizza strategy is a technique that you can use if you've got a bunch of people that are gossiping,
yeah,
or they're saying bad things about somebody,
yes,
or they're trashing somebody in like a group chat.
yeah.
Instead of jumping in
And saying like, no, that's not right, because nobody actually wants to do that.
right.
Like, it just doesn't feel good, because like those are your like your friends, and like if you say that, you kind of like think that they're gonna like ditch you because like you're being like a goody two shoes or something.
Right. And it's true, because we all know that when people are gossiping about someone else,
You
that
should stand up for
you
them.
should stand up for them.
But like, if
But a
you-
lot of us don't.
yeah,
And so the pizza strategy,
is basically doing it without actually doing it.
ooh, so you change the topic.
You change the topic, yeah.
And then everybody just follows you because you say, hey, what are we doing this weekend?
Yeah.
Or you just don't even respond to
Yeah,
the
you
comment
don't
about Ashley.
Exactly. You just kind of like distract them.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And how do you make new friends? Like you're about to go to summer camp, and you're going to be gone for 3 weeks, and you're going to have all these new people. Do you have like a particular strategy that you use for how you make friends?
Well, yes, and kind of. So, at least this worked in kindergarten.
Okay.
So, what you did in kindergarten is you walked up to a kid, you said, hey, you want to be friends? They said, sure. And you kind of just built off from there.
Yeah.
That is literally just what you did.
Okay.
But I think at camp, like, you're gonna like meet so many new people, and you will like meet someone through like a clinic, or meet someone through a team, or like a play.
Yep.
Or like, because like if that literally shows that you're interested in what I'm interested, can we be friends? Like, that is what that is.
So you going and doing things like signing up to be part of the play.
Yeah.
All the kids that are part of the play are also interested in being in a play.
acting.
Yes.
Because why would they sign up for the play if they're not interested for the play?
True. And so you've got that first step, which is you sign up for things you're interested in, and then you know the people that are there are also interested. So you got that. But how do you determine then next, like who you want to spend more time with and who you're kind of like, maybe not my kind of person?
You talk to a bunch of people. You kind of just float around. You don't just stick with one person.
Yep.
Because then if that one apple that you've been saving turns bad, and then you got nowhere else to turn. So like,
Oh, so you don't want to put all
your savings, you don't want to put all your money in this one bet.
Got it.
Once you kind of like know someone, then you can kind of like take it a step further and like be like put some more money on that bet.
Yep. Put some more time in there.
Yeah. And then you start hanging out with another one, but you bring your buddy with you. So then you have a bigger group of friends. And if you keep repeating that, then you're going to have a lot of friends.
You're a genius. Has anyone ever told you that?
Sawyer.
So my daughter, Sawyer. I have a question for you. One of the biggest questions I get from people around the world is they write in and say, I'm really stuck in my life, and I actually don't know what I should do with my life.
So what my dad has told me, at least, is I didn't find my passion till I was like 40. It is out there.
What do you mean by it's out there? Because I think you're right.
Because like,
Do you believe everybody has something?
something that they can do. Everybody has something. Bees pollinate plants. Like, and lions eat like stuff. And that helps us from and that helps animals from overpopulating. Like, everything has their part,
Yes.
and that is how just life works.
And so what is one thing that you would want them to start doing if I take your philosophies, right?
Yep.
We've talked, you've given us, you've shared so many cool things with us, Elton. If I take some of your philosophies, and I especially love the good enough and the trying, What would you recommend somebody do today to take one step forward toward figuring out what that thing that's their thing could be?
Listen to Mel Robbins podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, go outside and like meet some new people, because those people could be your people. They could introduce you to something that you love. They could introduce you to your future job, your future wife, your future husband. Like, it would be like, it could be like anything basically.
So basically, get out of your comfort zone,
Go out of your comfort zone to do something.
shift the energy. What kind of world do you hope to help create, Elton?
I hope to create like a kinder world, because that you can't just like be kind. You have to like actually like feel kind. Like, I remember in Maine, I helped a grandma over like a little puddle.
Yeah.
By building a bridge of sand. Like that made me feel kind. Like if you just let the grandma like step in the puddle, like what are you? Like, you don't gain anything from that. That grandma now just has wet socks. Like, and nobody likes wet socks. So, like, imagine you're that grandma too. Like, would you want someone to be like right there, could have helped you but didn't? Exactly. Like,
It's powerful.
yeah. Kindness is so powerful.
Is there anything else you want to share as your parting words?
Be kind and don't let anyone stop you. That's it. All you out there, have a great day, have a great month, have a great year, and we love you.
That's right. In case no one else tells you, but somebody just did, and his name is Elton, I wanted to tell you that I love you and we believe in you.
Yeah.
And we believe in your ability to create a better life.
We do.
Now go do it. We'll talk to you in a few days.
Yep.
Well done, Elton. One more thing. I know you're thinking, oh my God, Mel, I want to watch more. Do me a favor. First, hit subscribe, because that tells me you love this kind of content. And it also supports me in being able to bring you all of this inspiration and these research-backed strategies every single day. So just hit subscribe. Please, please, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, I know you probably want some more inspiration, something beautiful to watch. So check out this video next. I picked it for you. I know you're going to enjoy it.